The Scene Industry Demo. The following is selected highlights from the show formerly known as the Australian Music Scene. Produced and mixed by Adam Wood and Simon Goodrich on the 4th of November 2000. Bernie Carr learns to speak Russian.
And I just want to say to my friend Serge, pozdravnoye s dnем rождения. That is happy birthday.
Oh my lord.
Because you are fluent in Russian, aren't you, Bernie?
I'm totally fluent in Russian, and for those who didn't understand that first word, pozdravляю с днем рождения.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Kieran. And a big kak dealer to all my Russian listeners out there. Dobrое утро, Maxim.
Adam Richard talks it up.
There's nothing like talking into a shoe or a rubbish bin or other inanimate objects.
Or a
Always.
six-story telephone box without a floor.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Can't get enough.
I
I used to love when 99 used to talk into her makeup.
That's right.
Her little lipstick was a microphone and her little mirror was her little earpiece.
See, back then, all that was just absolute fantasy. But with the size of mobile phones these days,
I know, you could fit them in a lipstick.
that's right. So
Yeah.
they weren't far off it. I know. I've stuck my mobile in my shoe a couple of times just to relive the experience.
That was with Adam at 2 o'clock in the morning on Brunswick Street.
Sure, but still.
Sin FM, stick around. Australian music scene.
Will Anderson talks nicknames.
I've never really had one like Will Anderson, Ando, got a bit of Ando, but really just got no nickname. So when I was about grade 6, I decided I wanted a nickname. But you can't tell people to give you a nickname. You can't go, call me this. Like, call me Ace. Call me the Legend. You can't do that. You've got to let it form. So I decided I was a big fan of. I was a fat kid, and I was a big fan of these books called Alfred Hitchcock and the Three Investigators, which had this really smart guy called Jupiter Jones, who always left his mobile phone on in a radio studio. And anyway, they had this guy called Jupiter Jones, and I wanted to be like him, the smart fat kid who solved the crimes, not realising that in the town I grew up in, the crimes weren't things like who stole, they're things like who knocked off, a car and then stabbed a guy in the pub. But I wanted to be the guy who solved the crimes. So I decided my nickname was going to be Donuts Anderson. So what I decided to do was just buy a lot of donuts and just go around school and just be seen eating donuts. Just at at little play and stuff, I'd be there just eating a donut mysteriously. And then maybe just solving a crime. And so I did this, I just ate donuts until...
Where did the hole go?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just some school-related crime. Who took the cookies from the cookie jar? And so I would just, eat these donuts and just stand there with the donuts, constantly. And nobody... I did this for about, I reckon, 6 months. Not once did anyone ever call me Will Donuts Anderson. They call me Fatty Fatty Boomba.
Hi, my name's Grant Hackett. When I'm not breaking world records, I'm listening to Live at the CAF on SRA FM 94.9. Why? Because it's almost as good as me. Bet you bloody Thorpe you ain't listening. Ashley, come and join me on our beautiful couch. You must say they're quite a delightful couch.
It's a very comfy couch.
Ashley, welcome back to Melbourne after a bit of sojourn in New Zealand, I hear.
Yeah, we've just been to New Zealand.
How many gigs did you do over there?
We did 3 with Regurgitator, who received a hero's welcome.
Did they?
Very much so.
What sort of crowd size were you playing to over there?
Well, we're playing to Regurgitator's crowd, so it's probably 1,000 people a night.
How did you find it, playing to a crowd that's fairly well gentrified like the Regurgitator crowd?
They're very accepting. They weren't too distracted or impatient, which was nice.
Now, the new album's been out for a little while. You're enjoying some success with that. How are you enjoying playing it?
Well, it's like the end of a school year, really. It's time to begin a new year at school. So that,
So you're on your Christmas holidays, Ash?
Yeah. I'm always on Christmas holidays.
Off the caravan park down at Rye?
Polo Bay, actually.
Oh, lovely.
It's usually a bit of class in your
Get it right.
Now, I must say it's a shame it's not television today because you are wearing an absolutely dashing shade of purple pants and a matching shirt.
It's a lovely pant.
Thank you. That's because I have a social function to attend later.
You do, of course. Everybody that it's not doing their duty by listening to SRA this afternoon should go to Gaslight. We are performing in-store.
With Sherry Rich and the Ice Cream Hands.
And you're on at?
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. It's quite a spin out wearing headphones
It is, isn't it?
in public.
You do a very cool thing, which is a DJ thing I like to do sometimes, which is one ear off and a bit of this.
Yeah, or this one. This
What's
is the
that?
other one.
That's mixing.
This is the Woodsy special, just this one. Into the shoulder
That's right. And the fader.
and wave some arms.
Do you know it's actually a fashion statement now to wear headphones in public? Have you seen kids doing that?
I have.
back.
I have. They're much higher quality these days, headphones. Well, I mean, they're affordable. Like 10 years ago, the same headphones would have been unaffordable.
And would they be streetwear? Would that be... What would headphones
Only if you live in
cost?
Paran.
Ooh.
No. I mean, because, there's a lot of good hi-fi
Like
shops down there.
Walkmans. Oh, okay.
Scott Brennan brings us the news.
Now, you've got some craziness in the news, haven't you?
There's craziness. Well, apparently there's this little thing that I cut out of the Herald Sun because it's a naturally kind of funny newspaper. But apparently men with a low sex drive could be at increased risk of developing breast cancer. Study in the British Journal of Cancer found that men who had fewer orgasms were more likely to develop the disease. So if you have lots of orgasms, then you don't get... So I'm imagining that, boys between the age of about 12 and 16 probably wouldn't get breast cancer very often. So there you go. So if you want to beat... Guys, if you want to beat breast cancer, have lots of wanks. Right. Herald Sun once again. An Austrian man narrowly escaped death when he fell onto an open dishwasher and was speared by a knife.
Ooh.
Which you wouldn't really
How did it say how they fell?
The 35-year-old slipped on the tiled floor of a friend's kitchen and fell backwards onto the machine's cutlery basket. A 12-centimetre kitchen knife was driven into the man's back, narrowly missing vital organs.
Stop it.
Although the man suffered serious injuries, doctors said his life was not in danger. Apart from all that skylarking in the kitchen.
Stop it now.
Let that be a lesson to your kids.
Stop it now.
All right.
This is the newie from Straw People out of New Zealand. You might recognise the voice of Bikrunga on this one. And you might actually recognise the track too.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Stick around, we've got either Donnie from Blue Line Medical, Adam Richards, local comedian, whoever gets in here first next.
They're fighting out
They're fighting outside. Australian music scene, Sin FM. Now, Scotty, you've got some classic quotes for the week, and people are always putting their foot in their mouth about something, aren't they?
Well, they're putting their foot in their mouth and they're saying some kind of funny and interesting things. I quite like this one from Roseanne, actually.
Roseanne.
Roseanne Barr.
Oh.
Roseanne, just Roseanne now.
Just Roseanne.
Just Roseanne.
Big fat Roseanne.
Big fat Roseanne. I hate every human being on earth. I feel that everyone is beneath me and I feel they should all worship me. That's what I told my kids.
Isn't she classy?
She is classy.
She's not nuts at all.
No. Someone who might be nuts is Mark Wahlberg.
As in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch now.
Marky Mark and the
Serious
Funky Bunch.
actor.
That's right, and he's a serious. You can tell he's a serious actor. He's obviously had a bit of training in, voice and all that kind of, in expressing yourself. Unlike myself, but I got a
Don't
third.
let those
nipple.
years at voice training go to waste.
No,
Scotty.
you're right. I got a third nipple on my chest.
Ooh.
Girls like to play with it. It's chillin'. It's bugged. It's the real joint. So I think he's moving into Shakespeare.
Oh, I think so. I think he had more than one of the real joints before he was asked any questions about his
I
nipple,
think
to be
so
honest.
too. I wonder if he's been bugged.
He's up
though.
at T-Roy's and Kieran's getting a deal. I
We're
think.
there to second out his
Watching imaginary celebrities passion.
That's right. But finally, I love this. This is my favourite from Kevin Richardson from the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, they always say classy stuff.
Oh, they do say classy stuff. But his one is we do more than just sing and dance. We've got a brain too.
Just the one.
Just the one between the lot
five
of them.
And they still can't dress themselves.
No, they can't. No, one leg at a time. One leg at a time.
Oh, he's fallen down again.
He's Powderfinger on the Australian music scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Live at the Calf, Mr. Peter Hellier.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, come on. I know. You wanted Rove or American Rosso, but I rocked up instead.
Pete, you've never been so popular as you said $2 at primary school and bought everybody Super Dupers. I don't know
It's got to be
why.
a bit of Connect 4 action going on.
Pete is today here, of course, because of his new job with the fashion industry. How are the fashions going today,
It's
Pete?
great, actually. I've been hanging out at the gift shop
Right.
with Nikki Buckley and
Angus Kennett, I think, is
advising
down
her
there.
now. Sorry?
Angus Kennett does a lot of work.
Angus Kennett, yeah, he's everywhere, isn't he? I love Angus. He's great.
There actually were rumours that Rove was interested in dropping yourself for Angus. How do you respond to those, Pete?
Well, when Rove comes out of the closet, I'm sure he's... no, he's not that way inclined at all. He is, no. No, what was the question?
Australian music scene, Sin FM 94.9. That was Sunk Loto with Make You Feel, their latest single from a forthcoming album. Everyone's having forthcoming albums, aren't they?
I'd like to make someone feel my Sunk Loto. That sounds quite exciting.
Now we
maybe it's something you need to get rectified by surgery. Yeah, I've got to go into hospital. I've got a Sunk Loto.
Can you feel it for me, please? I'd like to make you feel it. My Sunk Loto.
Jedwood gets all technical on us.
Now the drums at the start of that song sound like they were EQ'd. Is that right?
Jeremy.
Come on. In jokes over the radio. Come on.
How did you know that, Jed?
Well, during the
couldn't
song...
have been because you were talking to me before the song finished, could it?
That's right.
No.
Well, I'm learning about how music is recorded, okay?
And what does EQ stand for, Jed?
Equalizer.
And Q?
Like that show that Edward Woodward was in.
What does the Q stand for?
Queensbury Street.
Okay, cool.
I do a lot of lying in bed, not really asleep, and I've been listening in the last few days to all the other breakfast radios just to rip off their ideas. And so you'll be back with Will and Betters next.
Talking lots of footy, I'd assume, Will.
Yeah, we'll be talking lots of footy and giving away a lot of icy cold cans of Coca-Cola. 6 packs of Britney Spears CDs. That's it, and just talking like this a lot. Yeah.
Adam Richard talks it up.
Oh, yeah.
Goes off.
Like a frog in a blender. Better than in a sock.
A sock and a frock.
A sock and a frock. Woo! Oh, no, that sounds like fun. I was just giggling like, one of those girls on the commercial radio station.
Well, someone's got to do it.
That's hilarious. Did I tell you about my baby? Anyway. I want everyone to watch Single Girls on Monday, or as I like to call it, Spinster City. Bunch of scrubbers looking for love.
Powderfinger. My Happiness.
Powderfinger.
Off their album, Odyssey number 5 on the Australian music scene, Sin FM 94.9. Now you're reading in the Bible, Mr. Richards, Single Girls. New TV show.
Reading all about Single Girls. Mondays at, what time's it on? 9:30 on Channel 9. The Single Girls, there's 5 of them. 4 of them are over 30.
Oh,
and
Christ's sake.
The other one's fat. So basically what they've got is 5 desperate scrubbers, put them in a house together, and they've all got to find a man.
So they can egg each other on. Go on, Sharon, do it. Root him. Root him, Sharon, root him.
And then at 5 o'clock in the morning when she's actually rooting him, they will come in with eggs and egg her.
Take photos.
Chuck eggs at her head.
Oh,
so, they've all got to try and get a man and get married and get money.
Okay.
That's basically the whole premise.
My mother always
Single
said, marry the first time for money and the second time for money.
She's classy.
She's classy.
So I think that's something to look forward to on the telly. And Tia's, she's not a small woman, but she doesn't mind dressing in a tight frock.
No, that needs to be commended.
I'm looking forward to this show. It's going to be like pop stars without the pop and just scrubbers. No singing, just scrubbers.
Pop stars in crazy kind of funfair mirrors that make them look wider.
The Australian music scene. We've got Bernie Carr talking TV after this. This is Motor Race.
Hey, because we played Powderfinger just before, Bernie, you went and saw Powderfinger the other night, didn't you? What did you think?
I thought they were as good as they always are, but a much bigger show, a much bigger venue, more people.
Did you mosh? Did you mosh with the kids?
No, but there was a kid next to me moshing the hell out of my shoulder and annoying me. And
you can get pregnant doing that. You be careful, honey.
And I'm old and fat enough to stand way up the back, so you don't have to get too much into the crowd.
Goodbye. 28 days off their album Upstyle Down, and they're on tour at the moment. And of course, we've got Bernie Carr talking TV. Treasure Island.
We were discussing this off air, and the conclusion is yes, Survivor for dumb Aussie bogans. Might as well have been done on Phillip Island during the holiday season.
Doing donuts.
No, there's nothing more. There's a whole lot of other new shows which I'll get onto next week. But in a nutshell, same shit, different bucket.
I know, you guys just pointed, and, well, let's face it, for the people at home, that's
this
really
that's an interesting conversation, isn't it? So I've pointed, and Adam's turned that way.
And I've sort of looked over my shoulder and just sort of gone, what? Hang on. Well, this is heaps better than Triple J.
Well, we're talking about the one and only Mr. Kieran Hart. I was on the phone to him today, and of course he's up in Sydney working some deals up there, he says.
We're talking
How much
by,
do E's go for in Sydney these days?
So we're talking by the gram here. or what?
He's working some deals. And he was telling me he was down Oxford Street last night.
Ah, yeah, right.
Oh, he was working some deals, all right.
Just to have a bit of a look, I'll bet.
At the Penguin Parade.
That's right.
And he was with his best mate Troy down there. So,
Troy. You have to say Troy with a lisp.
Kieran and Troy.
it's actually T. Roy.
T. Roy.
He's known by all the boys down Oxford Street.
Oh,
T.
really?
Call
Roy.
him T. Roy.
T. Roy. Anyway, they were
I'm so
down.
not going there.
They were down in a pub in Oxford Street, and they happened to catch. Well, they didn't happen to catch. They happened to witness.
What is? Oh, I was going to say, what did they catch in Oxford Street?
Witness.
Do they need Quilada afterwards? Quick skable bath.
They happened to witness lead singer of Lowtel, Luke Harrigan, I think his name is. Yes.
Right.
And he was pashing on
With a drag queen.
with a
With Kieran Hart.
With Kieran.
He was pashing
Kieran and
the drag.
Troy.
and T. Roy.
He was pashing on with Pia Miranda from Looking for Ella Brandy fame. Slut. And of course, their last single, Teenager of the Year, was featured heavily on the Looking for Ella Brandy soundtrack.
Are we talking possible nepotism here?
So that's the latest goss from Sydney.
What do you reckon Kieran's drag name would be?
T. Roy.
I like Alan Bro's drag name, Dawn Service.
Ew. My drag name's Fanny Bonanza.
Heather Lockjaw.
Here's Lowtel with a pop song Save My Life on the Australian music scene.
Well, I've got the Bible, the old Who Weekly here. I've been poring over that. X-Files news. Okay, been going for 7 years. Can you believe that? Last month we weren't sure if it would return, and if it did, would David Duchovny be in it, which he's a pretty big part of the show, so don't know if it'll survive him leaving. He's agreed to be in 11 episodes only, which is about half of the season. They're paying him $20 million to be in 11 episodes, and then he's going to drop out. Don't know how, whether he's going to be killed off. Nobody's really sure.
I'd say there'd be some alien intervention.
I think
somehow.
there might be too. I don't know. Just walking down the street one day and he'll just be plucked. But there's a lot of talk going on about who might replace David Duchovny.
Ooh.
And Kyle MacLachlan's name has come up, but I reckon there's one standout. There's one person who I think may be able to do it, and one person who definitely could. The one that I think may be able to do it is the captain from the Police Academy films. Could you imagine him as Fox Mulder? But the one who I think needs to, it's about time he made a comeback. It's about time he came to television, and that's good old Corey Feldman. No, I really do think that, you know...
What was his last biggest hit? What was
was it Goonies?
Oh, Ticket to Ride, all of those.
We're talking mid-'80s, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking 80s. So I reckon this is what we're going to see, you know. Could you imagine Corey Feldman as Fox Mulder? You know, they're going to come across an alien, and Scully's going to go, what do you think, Mulder? He's going to say, well, I don't know, but the first one to lose their virginity to it will be so cool.
The big problem is they can't get one without Corey Haim, though. It's got to be the bloke.
It's got to be, well, they get rid of Scully, we'll just have Corey Haim. I reckon that'll be great. Every time they can't get in touch with Mulder, it's because he's at a frat party. And we're going to have lots of kind of raids, FBI agents kicking in doors, yelling out, panty raid, panty raid. I reckon that would be great. I think it would lift X-Files.
It'd bring a new dimension to it, I think.
I think so too. A dimension which is sadly lacking.
We had this woman in who she was leaving the public service, well, to join another arm of the public service, but she was leaving, like, you know, she worked for local government or something, and she was leaving to become a police officer, and she's coming in with like one of those like really sparkly spandex wigs things on with all her friends, and we've said to her, you're joining the police force? She goes, yeah, but I'm going to have to get off the drugs and the drink and that first, and I've just looked at her and just gone, no you don't, just join the St Kilda CIB.
Will you stick around for us after this track?
Oh, you'd already told me to, but will I pretend like we weren't going to?
Pretend it's the mystery of
radio.
radio.
Oh my God, I love you guys. I'd love to come back. Thanks for having me in for more.
You're 94.9 SRAFM.